Hi guys, today we're going to be working on the Chevy Equinox. We're going to show you guys how to locate some different sensors, how to test the data link connector, and show you guys how to look through some information using Scan Tool. Before we start, we're going to show you guys some tools that we're going to be using in case you guys want to do it yourself. Alright, so this is the current setup we have for testing. We have an alligator clip on the negative, and then we have a pin here, a very thin one, so we can go into the data link connector and test. So we're going to take this over to the car. We're going to put the negative clip on here on the battery to ground it, and then I'm going to take the positive and take this positive one and put it inside the car for my partner to use. I'll be showing you guys the voltage that he reads, and you guys will see his POV inside there too. Alright guys, so here we are. We're about to test the data link connector. That is this right here. It's worth noting that these tests should be done with key on, engine off in the ignition, and that is indicated by the ringing sound that you hear. So we're going to get started with these tests. You're going to see the multimeter reading on your screen, and let's get to it. So here's 1, 2, and 3 are empty. Let's go to 4, 5, 6, 7 through 11 are indicated as empty, so we're going to jump to a 12, 13, 14, 15 is also not being used, and then we're going to go over to the last one at 16 here. And that concludes our test. So we manually entered the VIN. We entered all the other information that the scan tool was asking of us, and now we are greeted with this device unable to communicate with the control unit. And based on our previous reading at the 16 pin with the 0 volts that we found there, we fully expected the scan tool to not be able to communicate with the system. Alright, we're going to go ahead and test the 7.5 amp fuse that leads to the 16 pin. Here we found the fuse box. We're going to go ahead and test the voltage of each side of the fuse. Now the other side. Alright, we just replaced the 7.5 amp fuse. We're going to go ahead and test and verify. So I have the negative lead plugged into the pin 5, which is ground, and I'm going to go ahead and test connector 16. Alright guys, so here we have some data on the page. We have the car turned on right now, and we're just kind of going to rev it so you guys can see what the sensors do and the different measurements that go into the input. Alright, let's go to graph. You guys can also see some of this here. Rev it. Can you keep it at like a 2000? Alright, and that's kind of a visual representation of what happens. Right here, this yellow and purple wire leads to the high pressure fuel pump sensor. Back on over here,
Under some wires, I will throw up on the screen a zoomed in version. There is the intake camshaft position sensor. Out back here is the exhaust camshaft position sensor. Over down here is the wires that come from the accelerator pedal position sensor. Alright, moving on over to the left side of the engine here. I'll move the camera as well so you guys can get a better view. We got two solenoids here. This one on the right is the intake camshaft position actuator solenoid valve, and then the one on the left is the exhaust camshaft position actuator solenoid valve. So that concludes some of the sensors here.
Thank you guys for watching.
Make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys next video.